Hey guys, what's up? My name's Dacoolmike and welcome back with another episode of Buried. So, on the last episode, we were chased by these creatures, what we called, I forgot the entities or the, what you call, alien stuff, but we have to make a very serious dramatic decision where we either wait for our friend Dennis to escape or we have to shoot his hand so that he could escape. Apparently, I made the judgment call of shooting his hand, and apparently, he's not very happy about it. So, we finished chapter 4, and now we're gonna go with chapter 5. If you're hearing the background barking noise of my dog outside, I apologize. So, I'm really sorry. Let's just begin chapter 5. I'm really sorry about the noise, guys. Ooh, okay. We are now inside a large reinforced chamber of sorts, almost like an inside of a submarine. Near us is the door shut tight. Far away from us along the back walls are all sorts of controls and monitors. It seems clear that this metal door is impenetrable, at least two of them. I'm fairly sure that they aren't getting in. Dennis looks like a walking corpse, and I do everything in my power to not let this show in my expression. His face is in a grimace. He shouts out to me, "To hell with you! What were you thinking?" Blood pools in the floor below wherever he holds his arm. I say nothing. It's all too much. My brain feels like jelly. "We need to get him some help or he's going to bleed to death," Amy says. We are interrupted by a man's voice booming behind us. "Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?" the man roars. He's an older man who seems to exude power and authority, but he also looks tired and scared. I assume this is Barksdale. He walks over to us from the back recess of the chamber. "We didn't have a choice," Abby responds. "We had to." "Did you override the locks of the hangar doors?" Barksdale demands. "Yes, I did, but we had to." "Do you have any idea what you could have done?" Amy doesn't answer right away. She is furious, but she is also scared and visibly exhausted. "Who is this?" "Stay quiet." "Well, we know it's Barksdale, I think. But we're gonna go with who is this, just to make sure." I address my question to Amy, preferring to get my info from her rather than whoever this is. The man doesn't break eye contact with Amy. "Colonel Barksdale, he runs the place," he says, annoyed. "Look, Barksdale," he says, "you can berate me and lecture me all you want when this mess is over. But right now I have a wounded civilian here, and as you can see, several entities trying to get into this room. So if you could actually do something instead of sitting on your throne and yelling at me, that would be great." I'm impressed by her guts and wonder if there is some sort of beef between the two of them. Surely working in a place like this could cause some stress and tension between people. As we wait, I notice a small peephole on the door, and I got to it and look out to the things. They're still looking for a way in, but finding no success. I wonder if they can sense or somehow see me through the door. Flip them a bird? You're not gonna flip them a bird? Sure, they deserve it. They almost killed me and my friend. I can't help myself. I hold up my middle finger to one and smile defiantly. I get the blast of high-pitched sound in response. "You'll be reprimanded for speaking to me in such a way," Barksdale says to me. "Reprimanded me all you want. I'd like to survive this first." "Cover your ears," Barksdale shouts, walking away toward the far end of the room. "Stay put until you hear back from me." "Thank you," Amy says with a fire in her voice. She then turns to me and says, "Better do what the man says." "Yeah, I'm gonna cover my ears. Probably he knows more than I do, so why not?" I clap my hands over my ears just in time to protect my hearing from a deafening blast. I'm still bleeding, and the sudden movement over my ears makes me feel dizzy. Dennis clumsily covers one ear with his hand and one ear with his bandage arm. When I see the shape he is in, I get myself checked. Compared to Dennis, I'm in tip-top shape. I did that. I took the shot that took his hand off. I need to make all of that mean something. More bursts of loud explosive noise starts ringing out. Looking through the peephole again, I see the core of one of the beasts explode. Ooh, it vanishes in a puff of smoke and clear liquid. Looking to my left, I see Barksdale in a shooting stance at the far side of the room. He's firing through a small slit in the wall. He's using some high-powered weapon that the likes of which I've never seen. I see a slight movement as the gun kicks, accompanied by a flicker of white light. Immediately, another monster is down, its tentacles flailing around aimlessly as most of its core is torn through. I instantly feel gratitude and immense satisfaction in knowing that they are being picked off in such a way. Yeah, I'm gonna continue watching. I slide my eye up to the peephole again to watch what effect the shots are having outside, because I know that white liquid and gas is the creature's blood, seeing it rose up and frenzied blood lost in me. Another is blasted in the center, the translucent shell collapsing inwards as its light dies out. Yet another is shot in the mass of floating tentacles, causing its blood to disappear as it dips in and out of existence. After several moments, my view is blocked by a splatter of white liquid that covers my peephole. When the firing is over, I barely even notice it. Soon after, Barksdale walks back over to our side of the room. They're all gone, Barksdale says, and I have to reseal the hangar doors. How'd you kill them like that? I asked. Classified weapons that, quite frankly, you have no business being near. Amy gets to her feet and returns to the panel of the wall. Thanks. How about the other civilians hurt? Barksdale asks. One is in very bad shape, Amy says. He's lost a hand and a lot of blood. The other is not too bad. I see a laceration on his back, and that's about it. Okay, I'll have Strickland get a med kit. Strickland survived, Amy asked, sounding cheerful. Yes, and until you and your friend showed up, I thought we were the only ones. Hang tight, she's on her way. Yes, and until you and your friend showed up, I thought we were the only ones. Okay, with that said, he retreats away to the back of the room as if he can't stand to be around us. Amy approaches me and looks me over. You're in good hands. Strickland will be able to fix you up. Is she a doctor or something? Sort of. She's also a physician. Physicist? I don't know. But oddly enough, she spent time as a trauma nurse in the army. Is Strickland a friend of yours? I asked. Amy chuckles. Yeah, we've known each other for a while. The only woman in the sea of overachieving men. Barksdale sounds like a prick. You must be glad Strickland survived. You must be glad Strickland survived. I'm not gonna say Barksdale sounds like a prick, because from the tone of his voice he's probably. So yeah, let's go with, yeah. We usually have lunch together, she said, and she helped me out of a few tight spots in my career. Within a few seconds, the door behind us opened and a woman appears from back farther in the chamber. She enters the room with what looks like a small suitcase. She is dressed in a very basic and dumb military getup, complete with a holstered sidearm. My name is Connie Strickland, she says. I can patch you guys up pretty well, but it's going to hurt. She looks closely to Dennis, looking him over with a precise care and attention. You're not in the best shape. He responds in a grunt. Seriously, I can fix you up, but only temporarily. You need intensive care for that. First things first, though. Strickland pours some liquid over his maimed arm and starts stitching. She then wraps his arm with 3 entire spools of gauze. Blood shows through right away. That's the best I can do for now, she tells him, giving him a sympathetic frown. I could care less, Dennis mutters. I'm a cripple. Do whatever you want, as thought it matters. Strickland then looks at me. Sit down and let's see if we can get your shirt off, he says. I sit down slowly and starts unbuttoning my shirt. She has to help me slip it off my shoulders, but we manage. How bad is it? I asked. Bad, she answered. It's almost like a burn, but I've seen much worse. Your friend here, for example. I might as well talk to Strickland if only she's not a scientist but a physicist. Let's get her story. Stickland rolls her eyes and she gathers up a little and some thread. I was always into French science. I studied in labs where this eccentric Russian scientists were being funded by the US to work on a combining DNA types. I sort of become obsessed with perfecting human physiology while I was a trauma nurse in the army. You were a mad scientist then, I'd say. I get that a lot, but no, not compared to the stuff we do here. What kind of stuff? I don't even want to know. Well, we know that they're trying to mess with teleportation, but let's just keep talking. It's completely common masses. Quantum gravity, plunging things down into their schizophrenic reduces fun stuff. Yeah, mad scientist, I say, trying to keep myself calm with dry humor. There are lots of small labs working on this same stuff, she argues. They just don't have our funding. When you guys ran in here, she says, I was horrified. Those barrels outside, I'm not sure if you saw them. Well, if you shot them, it could have been bad. Oh, explosive barrels. Cool. Why? I asked. The gray ones are filled with an experimental fuel that is highly flammable. Explosive barrels. The yellow ones contain liquid nitrogen. Explosive barrels. More explosive barrels. What? I asked. Just playing around. What? I asked. Just playing around? Well, this area is the safest in the building. The most secure. Well, it used to be anyway. And take this, she says, handing me 4 pills. Painkillers. They won't work immediately, but they'll dull the worst of what you're feeling. Are this the best idea? I asked. Won't they make me dizzy or out of sorts of something? All I get in response is an annoyed and determined look. Take the painkillers or don't take the painkillers. Here's the thing, if I take the painkillers, I might need them in the future. I might need them in the future, but I won't be able to use them because I took them. But if we don't take the painkillers, it might cause us a lot of trouble in the future. So, I'm gonna be a nice guy and follow his orders. Her orders, I mean, because she's a doctor and probably she knows what must be done. She knows more than what I do. So, yeah, take the painkillers. You took the painkillers. I dry swallow the pills as she starts working on me. She stutters the wound with some sort of liquid and then starts like crazy and I gasp. Ouch! Grin and bear it. I'm gonna try to act like a man. Yeah, grin and bear it. Cause I'm not a silly little pants. Ready to stab me yet? Strickland asks. I'm fine, I hiss. I wince as she dabs at my eye, swollen from where Marcus kicked me. I grit my teeth in pain and try to catch my breath. Dennis comes out of his haziness and tries speaking to Strickland, but his wounds are slurred. White light from the ground, Dennis said. You think that caused the power outage? Think that brought the monsters out? Could be, Strickland said. But your crew was far enough away from the facility, or at least we thought you were. Dennis chuckles, in a way that what makes him sound menacing. Nope, wrong, you thought wrong. So you and Barkley are the only survivors, Amy asked. It seems that way. Those that didn't disappear to thin air were killed by those things, Strickland says, nodding to the secure door. How many were killed? No one else made it? Well, we're not gonna ask how many were killed because probably lots. Then we're gonna know if there are more people that survived it. No one else made it? Not that I've seen, Strickland said. If anyone else did make it, they're trapped out there with those things. I'm glad to see you. Where were you when this happened? Amy asked. I was in the micro lab on level 2, Strickland replied. Park and O'Brien were in there with me and they just disappeared. It looked like they were being stretched, distorted, and then there was a ball of white light and they were gone. The ball of light just annihilated everything it touched. Would it leave a perfectly round hole? I asked, a light bulb turning on in my head. We saw some of those up at the lodging site. Yeah, we wouldn't leave a perfect round hole. Yeah, and I saw a bowl of white light too, Dennis chimes in. That was probably the same phenomenon, Strickland replies. Amy looks at the ground like a child that is afraid to ask an adult for something. Finally, she asks, where did they go? We don't know, Strickland says. It could be an infinite number of different dimensions, or even some dimensions that merge and mix together. It could also be a place that exists between dimensions. Barclay calls it the void. How is that possible? I'd call it dead. Humor? How is that possible? We don't know. That's just it. Strickland says, our understanding of space-time is evolving, especially when you start warping it like we have been doing, Amy adds. That point seems to be the end of the conversation as both women fall quiet. I went through the rest of the Strickland stitching feels the tag of my skin, but thankfully no more flowing blood. Finally Strickland says, you're good to go. She looks over at Dennis one more time. He doesn't so much as stare when she rechecks her work. She already having to remove the gouge on his wrist as it's soaked through with blood. The wound looks like it's starting to clot, so that's good at least. Well, will he make it? I ask. I'm not a doctor, Strickland says. Not really, but based on the bit I do know, I'd say it's about 50-50 right now. So have you and Barksdale been able to contain all those pictures? Amy asks. Strickland appears shocked, clearly not the reaction Amy was expecting. Contain? Do you not know what's happening? Amy's eyes widen in fearful confusion. What do you mean? What's happening? Are the initial experiment failure? The anomalies are becoming more numerous and farther from the source. Strickland says. The casual humor in her voice is now gone. What anomalies? Farther from the source? Well, we know that the anomalies are the entities. Farther from the source is probably where they came from. So let's try to do that. From the location of the original experiment, she says. The experiment caused the first doorway to open, but it set off a chain of reaction. They are gaining momentum along geodesics emanating from the facility. It's these pockets of exotic matter and negative energy that are letting those things in. What the hell does that mean? Dennis asks. It means, Amy chimes in, that those doorways and monsters are starting to appear all over the facility, maybe even the surface. Not yet, luckily, Strickland says, but the doorways will start appearing on the surface. And it won't stop there. The anomaly's reach could extend infinitely as far as we know. Those entities will appear on the surface in other states, other countries. Holy shit, I say. You mean the world is going to be overrun? The horror of the past few hours has made me ready to believe anything, but this is almost too much. Unfortunately, yes, Strickland says. My God, Amy says, stepping away. Isn't there anything we can do? There is a last resort, Strickland says, her eyes darting over to Barksdale at the back of the room. There's an emergency fail-safe switch. What? Amy says. I never heard of that. Where? You aren't cleared for it, Strickland replies. And that switch, Amy says, is a way to stop this? Yes, Strickland says, seeming uneasy with the conversation. What does the switch do? Why haven't you hit the switch already? Well, probably we're gonna ask, what does the switch do? We should know that. The switch is our eraser, she said. It destroys the entire facility and terminates any systems or experiments that are being conducted. It's also an emergency shutdown for interdimensional travel. It puts an event horizon around the facility. What the hell is that? I asked, incredulous. It's the perimeter of a black hole, she replied, the boundary inside which nothing can escape, not even light. But there are two problems with hitting the switch. So the first problem is we'd all be killed, sucked into a black hole before we have time to evacuate. Oh, that's cool! Let's not do that. The second reason, Strickland whispered, silently quiet, is that the Barksdale won't allow it. What? Amy gasped. Why not? He wants to allow those things to flood the surface. Thousands millions will die. Strickland puts her hands up, silencing Amy. They've both peer over to the far side of the room where Brexton has his back turned. I know. He says he doesn't care. He says he'll be happy to be rid of the oversight so he can continue his work. The oversight? Amy almost screams, regaining control over her voice when Strickland gives her another look of warning. You mean our government? I ask. He's aware this could disrupt, even topple our government, and he doesn't care. Strickland sighs. Baxter is, well, he's off the range right now. He's gone rogue, and he's armed. This comment makes me look towards the handgun I brought in with me. I'd nearly forgotten it in the last few moments. While Baxter has his back turned, I take it in my hands and slide it behind me. Just in time too, as Barclay walks over from the back of the room to our side of the chamber. He gives Strickland a suspicious look before speaking to her. Are you two civilians going to survive? He asks. Are you two civilians going to survive? Dennis chuckles at it, and I'm relieved to see that his eyes are open. He gives a lazy thumbs up. One is stitched up and good to go, but the other one here is in bad shape. He needs immediate medical attention. Understood, Bartel says. Amy, it's quite nice to see you that you have survived, he said. Were there any others? That aloof way this asshole is talking to us is getting under my skin. A guy named Marcus that works on the first level from IT, Amy said. That's all I know for sure. Marcus Popscott, Bartel says. Where is he? We're not sure, I'll say. He was separated from us. Oh, Bartel replies, clearly taken aback by the stern reply. That's unfortunate. Bartel seems to think about something and then looks directly at me. You're with the lodging crew, aren't you? Remind me, how did you get in here again? We were searching for our crew through the building on the surface. We're gonna say we were searching for our crew. We're not gonna say him where we escaped. He doesn't need to know that. Because that could be our only way out, and we don't want him to chase us. Ah, makes sense. The clothes for the entrance shed are tied in the primary source, Bartel says. And we lost primary power just before the experiment failed. Cloak? I asked. Yes, Strickland says. The shed you entered is usually not visible to the naked eye. Depending on the power sources that were damaged, for example, it could have also shut down the blocking system before the box-up kicked in. Everything is starting to make sense now. From the very start, it had seemed peculiar that we'd so easily been able to walk into a place like this. Where's the rest of our crew? What caused the experiment to fail? Well, probably the rest of the crew is dead or gone, so I'm gonna go with what caused the experiment to fail. Your crew hit one of our main power lines. We aren't sure exactly how, but we know that's what did it. You're trying to blame all this on me? I roar. The timing was unfortunate, Bartel says. Where is the rest of our crew? So what now? The crew is dead. So let's just move on. So what now? Now it's time to continue our work, Bartel says calmly, turning away to the instrument on the near wall. You're insane. I'm gonna keep quiet because I don't want to angry someone who has a gun. So I'm gonna keep quiet. This guy sounds like a complete lunatic, but he's lunatic that gifted to a power and armed with some type of advanced weaponry. True. So I keep my intentions unspoken, assuming Bartel is used to get going unchallenged by people he considers beneath him. He certainly seems like that type. I want to continue my work, Bartel admitted. Other researchers will eventually discover what we have, sure. But I want it to be me. This is my laboratory. There are my experiments. The work I've led here will earn me my place in history. And quite frankly, I don't need to explain it to you. Up on the surface, they struggle to defend themselves. Since they won't know what they're dealing with, I have the necessary weapons. After a few months, who knows, maybe I'll decide the world is ready for me to help them, and we'll go from there. He turns back to us, and as he says this, walking to the far side of the chamber like we're some kind of distraction. Amy takes this opportunity to whisper to us. We need to hit that switch, he said. It's the only option. What he's saying is murder, treason, genocide. He looks over to Strickland for support, trailing off. But Strickland looks at the ground, clearly torn. She won't look anyone in the eye. whatever instrument he's studying on the far side of the room. The dreamlike quality I experienced earlier is wearing off. The painkillers seems to be losing their edge. Well, that's nice. Strickland finally whispers a response. Even if we decide that we want to hit that switch, Pascal won't allow us. To hell with him. You can figure something out, right? Yeah, maybe you can figure something out. There has to be a way. Maybe you guys could make a break for it, Strickland whispered. Where is the switch located? Abby asked. There's an elevator out in the hangar, Strickland said, taking it to the basement. The switch is at the end of the long tunnel. But Strickland never finishes. Two things happen at once. As she speaks, her mouth stopping in mid-sentence. First, a loud booming noise rings out, and then the top of her head seems to explode. Oh god. And Amy screams out in surprise, and Dennis and I jump back in shock as Strickland's body collapses beside me. Behind her is fallen body. Behind her fallen body, Bartel is holding his experimental rifle, and now he is pointing it at us. Boom! Well, I'm gonna end it there. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode or part of Buried. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe now and be part of the plan. And as always, I will see you guys next time with another brand new video. This is Dacoolmike signing off. Goodbye.